What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and yes, we've tied the record for the most wins in a row in a single season. It feels pretty awesome. But unfortunately, today I did not feel too awesome because this virus has been going around, some sort of stomach virus. So you can imagine watching this game, already kind of nervous watching it, and then on top of that, my stomach is killing me because of this virus. It's pretty awful. So if I start to like wince in pain or something, I may still be suffering the effects of it. But I finally feel well enough to do this review. So let's get to it. First of all, talk about the ref. Not nearly as bad as some of the other refs have been. So not a whole lot to complain about. But there's still times where it just feels really one-sided. There's a moment where Victor Moses' first foul of the game, the guy really kind of cuts inside of him and really draws the foul. I didn't think it was a yellow. It's a foul, sure, but the guy, I think it was Peters, he was clearly playing for the foul. So to give Moses a yellow for it, I didn't really agree with. Fabregas probably did deserve a yellow. Alonso and Doof, I didn't really see what happened there, so it's hard to tell whether their yellows were deserved. But the problem is, you look at that, that's 3 yellows for Chelsea, 1 for Stoke, and there were some yellow card fouls from Stoke's side. I mean, one in particular, Shawcross pretty much trips up Costa as he's turning to run towards goal, and is very clearly stopping a breakaway. So why is that not a yellow? Who knows? I don't know why certain things are considered a yellow and certain things are not, when they're pretty much the same thing. So yeah, it felt one-sided at times, especially when it came to the yellows. And on top of that, I mean, you look at, I think it was about 20 minutes in, they popped up how many fouls there'd been. There were 6 fouls on Chelsea, and then only 1 for Stoke. And that kind of was the story, I think, of the entire game in whole. So ref was average, made a few mistakes, but overall not nearly as bad as some of the other refs have been. The goals, because I haven't really been talking about the goals in my reviews. I don't know why. It kind of slips my mind. But yeah, let's talk about the goals. So the first one started from a great ball, David Luiz to Costa. Takes a good touch. Grant does well to punch it away. Hazard is there, takes the shot. Grant deflects it for a corner. Off of that corner, Fabregas sends in one of the few. In my opinion, he should have been doing this a lot more because there were five or four corners before this where it was played short. And I'm just like, why are we doing this? We have a lot of height in the box. Why not send it in? So he decides to do it on this corner. Gary Cahill gets up above the rest of the defense and powers it home. Really well worked corner. Stoke's first goal, a little bit of offsides there. Crouch looked like he was offsides whenever he went for the header and deflected it back across to Martin Zendy. But yeah, it was just first minute of the second half, lack of concentration. Cahill doesn't pick up Crouch, so he doesn't really challenge for the ball well enough, doesn't put him off enough. Crouch heads it right across the goal. Martin Zendy is right there, easy tapping. So it was kind of disappointing to start off the second half like that. But then we started getting going. It's like that goal sparked life into the Chelsea team, and just they really got going. And the Williams' first goal, pretty much exactly what I expect out of him. Moses does well, beats Peters for I think the first time today, and then just cuts him inside, cuts a ball across. Hazard is right there, lays it off. Nice little cushion touch for Williams, who just blasts it. It was a great goal. But then, once again, Stoke stepped it up. I don't really know how to describe that second goal other than it was just really lazy defending. I mean, first of all, David Luiz gets caught stepping out. He doesn't get back well enough. Even when he did get back, it's like you should be stepping across whenever the cross does come in. You should be stepping across in front of the ball. Instead, it was like he was backing up towards the goal. Like, oh, I'm going to do something. I'm going to make the save. No, you should be stepping in front of the ball. You should be stepping in to win the ball. But instead he sort of backed off of it. That was weird. And on top of that, a lot of diving in from Conte, from Cahill and Alonso. It was all around a really sloppy goal to concede. There should have been more composure. There should have been a lot more calmness. But it was like everybody's flying into the challenge. They're like, oh no, I gotta get there. And then they dive in, and now the ball is gone. So just a really sloppy goal to concede. And at that point, that's when I really started getting worried. I'm like, what if this is going to be a high-scoring tie, like 3-3, 4-4? But then instantly hit back. We win the ball back. Fabregas finds Willie and he powers it home. Great response after that goal. And then from then on, it was pretty much Chelsea's game. I mean, Stoke didn't have a whole lot of time or really even the high press that they were trying to do. Even then, it really wasn't working as well. It was like that third goal really gave them a little bit more calmness, a lot more confidence to go on and win the game. And Costa's the fourth goal by Costa was just sort of an example of how that works. Just the confidence to go and win the ball and then find the top corner. It was really well worked. So those are all the goals. I mean, overall, it was a good win. But like I said, those two goals, the first one, while it was offside from Crouch, it's still some lazy defending from Cahill. The second one, really sloppy defending from pretty much everybody. So overall, I would say I'm pleased with the team's performance because obviously scoring 4 goals, that's good. You want to be able to score those goals. You want to be able to really take it to them. If they're going to take it to you, you need to hit them right back. And that's one thing that I think Liverpool, that the reason everybody keeps talking about, oh, they look so great this year, even though they're conceding a ton of goals compared to us, they put goals away. They conceded one against Stoke, they went back and scored 4. They conceded 1 or 2 against some other teams, they go and put 4 in. And that's been the story of their season. They've been conceding goals left and right, but they've been putting in so many that it doesn't even matter. For us, we haven't been conceding that many. This is our 4th conceded goal in this 13-game winning streak, so it kind of tells you how our defense has been. But at the same time, we haven't really been winning by big margins. 3-0 against Bournemouth is the biggest win we've had in quite a while. So, yeah, it's kind of nice to see that we do have the attacking power to go on and go score 4 goals, especially against a team like Stoke, who do a very good job of playing good soccer. I really Stoke is one of the few teams I feel like they are one of the mid-table sides I think that can play such a beautiful football. Just watching them play, a lot of the time it's quick passing, quick movement, high pressure on defense. It's surprising to think that they're only a mid-table side because they look like they should be higher in the table. So, obviously they showed that today. On to individual performances. Courtois didn't really have a whole lot to do today, even though he got scored on twice. Both of them, I couldn't really see him doing much. The Martin's Indy one was just, he's not really prepared for it. It's coming back across. You expect your defender to be there on the back post, but nobody's there. So I don't really expect him to get to that one. The second one, maybe he could have reacted a bit better, but I mean, overall, he still had to make a few saves. He still had to put himself in good positions. He still had to take some pressure because Stoke was pressing so high that the ball would come back to him a lot. And so the fact that he was able to play under that pressure was really good. Defense, I would say, Azpilicueta was the only one that looked solid. I mean, on both of them, it was his side that got scored from. Martin's Indy, he was there but missed the tackle. The one from Crouch, he was there but missed the tackle. And so you'd think, oh, well, Azpilicueta missed those 2 challenges. How can you say he had a good game? Because that was 2 that he missed out of like 30 challenges that he made. I mean, you really watch the entire game. He's constantly putting in challenges. He is the one of the 3 defenders that's just always there, always making the defensive blocks, always getting the clearances away. It's no surprise that 2 of those 30 ended up being goals. I don't expect him to make all the time. I don't expect him to be 100% accurate on his tackles. So, yeah, I still think he had a good game, even if he did miss those challenges that led to the goals. And honestly, you look at the other 2 defenders, and they kind of are the ones that their mistakes led to the goals. The build up to that moment where it comes across and Azpilicueta missed that challenge. Well, David Luiz on the second goal especially really got pulled out, didn't do a good job of tracking back. With him though, I feel like I'm a bit worried because it seems like maybe he's struggling with that injury. He has had his right knee bandaged up for a while. So you kind of wonder if that's making him struggle a little bit. He took a knock today in the head, so I have to wonder if maybe that was affecting him at all because it seemed like he just wasn't really as focused as he has been. It felt like there are too many moments where he's kind of getting caught stepping out, and then all of a sudden he's out of position. So just a few too many mistakes from him, but overall he still played pretty well. Obviously, going forward is where he really shines because his long balls are really, really good long balls. As for Cahill, good goal, but I have to say defensively he was pretty poor today. Just overall, it was too many mistakes. There are just too many moments where he's diving in, he's not putting in a good challenge, or he's not tracking the man that he should be tracking. And this is not the first time I've said this about him. So the fact that I'm still having these issues from Cahill kind of makes me think, why is this not being changed? What is not being fixed? Why do we keep having these same issues? Why does he continue to dribble around in the back whenever he's under pressure? Why are these issues still there? So overall, I expect more from him because of the fact that I've seen so many issues from him in the past. I expect him to want to get better. I expect him to want to kill those mistakes in his game, and he's not. He's still making the same mistakes. He's still constantly put under pressure and trying to dribble out or tries to do a turn, and all it takes is that one little slip, and then they're through on goal, and now all of a sudden we have another Swansea or another Arsenal. So, yeah, of the back three, Espilicueta good, David Luiz average, Cahill bad, but good goal. Marcus Alonso and Victor Moses again on the wing backs. Alonso okay today. I still think we need to do better than him. Not that he hasn't been playing well or that he hasn't been effective, but you just kind of see there are moments where he's not making the right decisions. And because he's on the side with Gary Cahill, you want him to be making the correct decisions. You want him to be a smarter player. You want him to not give up the ball, so now they're running at Gary Cahill. And yet there's still too many times where he's trying to dribble out of pressure, or he's putting in a late challenge, or he's not tracking back defensively. So I think there are better players than him out there. He's done okay, and honestly I think going forward is where you see most of his contributions to the team. I mean, his crosses are really good. He plays that quick 1-2 with Hazard very well, so that's been where he's really shined. Defensively, though, we need somebody who's going to do the extra work to get back, and I don't think he's doing enough there. Moses, of course, I mean, it feels like he never stops. And that's kind of the nice thing about our team right now is that we have two players that never stop going in Moses and Conte. I mean, they're just constantly up and down the field. But Moses, I think, has more to do because whenever you face a team that's trying to implement the same style as you, Stoke were trying to go with the back three, the same that we do, you can see where that can be kind of an issue. Because now, not only do you have to get up in the attack and try to help out, but if you've also got a wing back on your side that's getting up and down the field as well, that means even more tracking up and down. Where most of the time, if it's just a back four and it's their fullbacks getting forward, most of the time you can push them back. You can stay up the field because the fullbacks won't get up nearly as much as the wingbacks will. So I think Moses had a lot more to do today, and he did well. First half didn't really have a whole lot of joy against Peters, but as Peters got more tired, Moses still had more left in his tank and just really put him under a lot of pressure. And eventually, I mean, on the first Willian goal, he just completely left him in the dust because that's just what Moses can do from time to time. So really enjoyed seeing him play today. I thought he did really well. Conte and Fabregas in the midfield, kind of surprising because it feels like it's been for so long Conte and Matic, and that's been it. Like it doesn't feel like Fabregas has had a place in the team. So it was interesting to see that Fabregas got the start today and did well. Just going forward did well. Obviously defensively you don't expect him to do as much, but yet in the past I've seen him do a lot more defensively than he did today. Today I thought he was just sort of a body in there when it came to the defensive part of it. Like it seemed like he was too easy to pass around. The defensive work I normally expect him to put in, obviously he's not nearly as fast or has as much energy as Conte does. So I'm not expecting him to run around the field and make great challenges. But he's a very smart player. And so I always see him putting himself in a good position to where the ball's coming in, even though he's not Conte and running from across the field to make a challenge, he's smart enough to see, okay, the pass is coming here. I'm going to position myself here and make the challenge. Today, he didn't do that as well. I thought he was very stagnant when it came to defending. I thought Stoke was having a lot of passing time in the midfield because Fabregas wasn't putting as much pressure on him. When Matic came on, that's when we started to dominate the midfield more because Matic puts a lot more pressure than Fabregas does. So even though Fabregas did a lot going forward, I mean, his balls going forward were great. Defensively, I expect more from him. But Conte did make up for most of that, even though overall I think he made a few mistakes that were pretty costly. I mean, on the second goal, really should have been a bit stronger in the challenge. I mean, you could argue, well, Crouch did kind of get a kick on him, but I still expect him to make that challenge. I expect him to do better than that. And the fact that he was so easily just kind of knocked off of it, it's a little bit disappointing. But he's still overall really good game. Just going forward, you can see he's always there. He's helping out. Defensively, he's always there helping out. He does both sides of the ball so well. And I couldn't ask for a better player in there right now. Hazard and Willian up top. Hazard, did what Hazard normally does. Just beating players on the dribble, constantly putting pressure on him, drawing 2 or 3 defenders over to cover him, which opens up space for other people. That's what he does so well. And I don't know how you can look at his performances over the past several games and not see that he is clearly the best player in the league right now. Like, even on the games where he's not scoring, he's not assisting, which he got an assist today. Even in the games where he's not really doing much going forward, he's still doing so much on the ball or drawing defenders, like I said, drawing defenders over to him, opening up space for his teammates, that you can still see the effect he has on the game. There are not a lot of players that can do that. Most of the time, if a player has a bad game, you can see that they're not involved at all. One of the ones I like to pick on, Ozil, is somebody who, if he's not having a good game, you can't even tell he's in the game because he's just not involved. If Hazard's not having a good game, he still has these little moments of brilliance that remind you, oh yeah, there's Hazard. But, I mean, today he had a good game, and he really showed his quality today. So, I'm loving watching him play. Willian, it's funny because 2 of the goal scorers I'm going to pick on a little bit. Obviously, Willian's 2 goals today, really, really great goals. But before his first goal, I thought, over the past couple of games, I thought this too, Willian's kind of been growing out of the team. And I hate to say that because I know that he had some issues. I know the stuff with his mother is really heartbreaking, and the fact that he had to take a leave, I understand all of that. But you could see that that time that he took off really affected him. It felt like he wasn't as involved. It felt like whenever he was getting playing time, he just wasn't doing enough. And starting off today's game, I thought the same thing. I thought he's just not doing enough on the ball. It feels like whenever he gets it, he's dribbling into pressure. It feels like off the ball, he's not making the right runs. He's running it behind the defense to where now he's not even involved in the play anymore. And so I'm just like, this may be the game where we see Willian start to drop off a little bit. But then he gets the first goal. Really well taken shot. And then after that, it's like he finally got the confidence that he's been lacking. And so from then on out, he just really took it to Stoke. And his second goal was a perfect example of just him making the correct run. And he hadn't been doing that most of the game. So I really thought that it was a good overall performance from him, even if the first half wasn't great. I still expect to see more from him overall, spanning the entire game. I don't want to see, he had one good half. But from what he did in that one good half, it was enough to justify the fact that he should get more playing time. Pedro obviously is playing really well right now, so they are sort of battling for that spot. But I think that Willian, what he did today, what he showed after he scored that first goal, shows that he still has the quality. He's been lacking some of that confidence. He's been lacking the confidence to sort of get into those positions and do enough with the ball. So I was glad to see him get a goal. I was glad to see him get 2 goals. It really was a good performance from him in the second half. On to Costa. It's Costa. He even in the first half, whenever he wasn't as involved, he's still creating some chances. He's still doing stuff with the ball that you want your striker to do, putting pressure on the defense that causes them to make some mistakes. And I mean, he should have had a goal. He really should have. That volley that Grant somehow made the save for. I don't know how he did it. And honestly, after that, I was kind of thinking, is this going to be one of those days where we just can't get past the keeper? But the fact that he got a goal in the second half just shows he earned it. He really does work hard for the team, and I really love watching him play recently because he just does so much. And honestly, the second half is where he shines most of the time. In the first half, sometimes he fades in and out, but second half recently he's just been kicking it up a notch, and it feels like oh, Chelsea didn't have a great first half, and this and this and that and that, and all of a sudden Costa just pops up in the second half, putting the defense under pressure, getting chances on goal, and you see the effect that he has. So yeah, overall, I really love having Costa there. I hate it for Batshuayi because once again, this is more of an example of why he's not going to get time because Costa is just that good right now. And it's kind of funny to watch Costa's attitude as well because most of the time you kind of see him, like there's a little bit of a foul on him or some sort of somebody gets into him and you're just like, oh no, it's Costa. What's he gonna do? He just gets up and kind of laughs it off. I'm just like, who is this? This isn't Costa. So the fact that he's willing to just sort of take a hit and keep going, despite of the fact that it should have probably been a foul, I don't know. It just shows that he's very happy with his playing. He's happy with how the team is doing. So that's really good. I'm glad that we have that in him. I'm glad that we have a striker who has the ability to do it, has the ability to get rough, but doesn't take it too far. Doesn't get angry anymore. It's kind of been one of the mysteries of how on earth did Conte manage to get him to do this. But as mysteries go, I think it's a great one because it's working for us. So, yeah, really, really good there. And then going into the subs, second half, obviously the first one, to make it a bit more defensive, bringing on Matic for Fabregas, which I do agree with just because Matic is more defensive. And like I said, after Matic came on, I think it was 3-2 at that point. After he came on, it just really solidified the midfield for us. So I agree with that decision. Ivanovic on for Moses. I was hoping maybe to see some of the younger players get a bit more time. Chalobah did come on, but didn't come on till late. After the fourth goal. So I was really hoping that Chalobah would be the next sub, or I can't remember who else was on the bench. I think Loftus-Cheek and Batshuayi were two of the other ones. Zuma was on there as well. So the fact that Ivanovic is getting time over some of those other players is a bit disappointing, just because I feel like Ivanovic has been on his way out for the past couple of years now. But at the same time, it is a bit more of a defensive move. I do understand it. My own personal preference, I'd prefer somebody else over him. But he does his defensive duties well enough. Just a personal preference for me. And then, like I said, the last one was Chalobah. I'm glad he is getting game time. I wish he could get a little bit more because this one he only got I think 3 or 4 minutes. So yeah, I was a little disappointed by that, but he's a good young player. I think he's definitely showing that he has the quality to be out there. He probably should have gotten a goal late on, but I hope he starts to get more time. I hope as we continue on, if there happens to be injuries, if there happens to be suspensions, I hope he's the one that Conte starts looking to and saying, okay, so we're missing Willian or Pedro, whoever, maybe give Chalobah a chance. But I mean, overall, I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with the fact that we're on a 13-game winning streak. Obviously, the Tottenham game is going to be a lot more difficult. Will our winning streak come to an end? I don't know. I thought our winning streak was coming to an end when we faced Man City, but we beat them 3-1. So anything can happen at this point. And a few days away. Who knows what's going to happen those few days? Obviously, Tottenham are missing Vertonghen and Walker for this game, so they'll have them back for the game against us. But who knows what's going to happen next. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Can we beat the record? Possibly. I feel like it's more possible now than it has been in many, many years because the way Conte has our team playing right now, just it feels so much like a team. It feels so much like they're playing together. They're playing for each other. Whenever things go wrong, they just buck up their ideas, their attitudes, and then they go on and push forward. And I mean, this is not the first time that we've conceded a goal in this 13 streak that we've been on. But yet this one felt so much like, okay, you're going to score on us, well, we're just going to go score. Oh, you're going to score again? A few seconds later, we're scoring again. So it just felt like we were in control of the game, even if we were having some defensive mistakes and a few defensive errors here and there. Obviously, we can't do that against Tottenham because they will punish us a lot more than Stoke has. But the fact that we just had so much going forward that it didn't matter that we gave up a goal. Because the next thing you know, we're scoring again. And we give up another goal, we're scoring again. And then we're scoring again. It's just overall really good performance from the team. I'm excited, looking forward to the next game. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Who's your man of the match? What do you think is going to happen in the next game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews. I'll see you at the next game. Peace out.